thank everybody for coming to send my mom off. The skies held up a little bit, so we didn't need all the umbrellas that we were prepared to bring with us and stay dry. Thank you so much for being in our lives and for being with us to give my mother the kind of send-off we really wanted to have, let her have. My sister Janie has a few remarks that she's prepared, and I appreciate your paying close attention as she tells about my mom.
Woo! All right.
All right, I'm going to do a sound check. Can everybody hear me? I didn't know. I didn't think that was going to be a problem. But all right. Mary Jane Riley, given life on June 18th, 1931. She was born to Alice and John Riley. John, a police officer, was extremely proud father. And Alice, a.k.a. Mom to us, was even prouder of her 5 children: Alice, Cassie, Buddy, Janie, and Patsy. Mom was 88 years old when she died on Christmas evening. We know that some of you may think that this is a terrible time to pass, but we see it as a gift, as she is now free and with perfect clarity. Thankfully, Mom is resting. She's resting with a God that she could not wait to meet. And she was greeted at the gates of heaven by all the loved ones whom she so dearly missed and asked about right until her last breath. Today we celebrate a great mom and just a wonderful lady. Mom loved her family. She especially loved her mother. Here's how she would describe her mom. My mom loved being a wife and especially a mom. She could never say a bad word about anybody. And the daughters had to tell her who not to like. She was quite naive, not thinking that there was a bad person in the world. She loved having a good time, dancing and smiling. And yes, she could be a bit ditzy in the most appealing way. To us, Mom did a great job describing herself. And she would love to know that she was just like her mom. As Mom was growing up, she cherished the time with her sisters and brother. She especially felt a kindred spirit with her brother, Buddy. She remembered when she could not find her school copybook, only to discover that Buddy had borrowed it. Because as he said to her, "Mary Jane, I need to look like I'm studying." She would laugh at the image of him with that rolled up copybook in his back pocket. I'm not sure that many of you know this, but Dad was not the only athlete in our family. Mom was actually quite the softball player. She played in the GB League. I love the story about her losing her front tooth to a line drive. She was so proud of her sporting injury until she realized that her mom and dad were not that willing to pay for front teeth replacements. It then turned into a dating nightmare. But we all know it worked out in the end. We've told the love stories so often. Mom and Dad were meant for each other. She loved him and trusted him with all her being. And he loved her. Unlike Daddy, Mom enjoyed working. We think more with social connections, but the role she chose most was being a mom. And there is definitely a special connection that she had with her firstborn. As we look through the many pictures of Jackie, there's so much love and pride. She got such a kick out of his fun-loving nature. And she loved his Elvis impersonations and his Superman shenanigans. All the rest of us Uber kids called Jackie the trial child, as he was the test that enabled the rest of us. And we all miss Jackie so very much. Then there was Danny. I think that Mommy saw a mini-me in him. He was athletic from a young age and very inquisitive. He was also a little naive. Daddy told stories about how he was a bit concerned that Danny was too attached to Mom. Of course, Mommy dismissed every bit of that as not being possible. One Christmas, Danny may have been about 5 or 6 years old, and he asked Santa for an easy bake oven. Dad went ballistic and said, "There's no way we're doing that." Silently, Mom filled the Christmas list as much as she possibly could. And under the tree that year, there was an easy bake oven. Danny was elated. Dad was not at all amused. And Jackie was delighted by the baked goods produced that day. Another story that Mom loved to tell was when Danny was late for dinner. And his excuse was that he saw God. And he did not want to leave the moment. Pop-Up Uber happened to be there that night. And he got a kick out of pressing that issue with Danny and especially Mom. "Wow, most people see Mary." He went right to the top. He even asked him what he looked like. And Danny proclaimed very confidently he had long white hair and a white gown. Pop-Up looked at Mommy in great amusement and said, "Yup, Jane, that's him." It was hard for Mommy to stay mad at Danny. Mom wanted a full house of children, but after Danny, it did not look like that was going to happen. Daddy would love to tell everyone, much to Mom's chagrin, that after years of practicing, while Mom would say after years of praying, Eddie finally came along. One of her favorite Eddie stories was when a neighbor on Ashland Avenue said to her, "I think you need to start driving that boy to school in the winter. His tears are freezing to his cheeks every morning." Eddie was not a big fan of school. The other story Mom told a lot was that she was so happy when Eddie finally started to participate in school events. And he participated in the reenactment of the Stations of the Cross. She and Mom went to the Mass very giddy about what they were going to see. They waited throughout the stations to see him. And they were both mortified when they discovered Eddie. He was one of the actors nailing Jesus to the cross. The two of them, blessed themselves all the way home. And yeah, that was the end of Eddie's acting career. Done. There's 7 years between Danny and Eddie. Mom was over the moon when Eddie came along, but not yet complete. Soon after, just 13 months, I came along. And then 2 years later, Patty was here. For me personally, I was so proud of my mom. And I thought she was the most beautiful woman in the world. I thought she was a movie star. One day I was probably in first grade at St. George's and I was sick. And they had to call my mom to come and get me. Families back there did not have second cars for your young folk. So Mommy would have to walk to school, and then we'd walk home together. While I was waiting for Mommy, I was evidently very worried and a bit dramatic. And I ran to the window in the nurse's office and I exclaimed, "I have to watch for her. You're not going to recognize her. She has a different color hair every day." My mom was a bit embarrassed in the moment, but she often told the story with a smile. And every time I see a mannequin in stores, I remember all the head mannequins that sat on her bureaus with all her different wigs. And then Patty comes along. Much like the connection that Danny had with Mommy, Patty dug even deeper. Mommy and Patty are two peas in a pod, and always have been. They seem to understand each other at a level that no one else could. We often poke fun at it, but believe me, it's powerful, and it's everlasting. But I will poke fun at it. Daddy and I are sitting in the car, and Mom and Patty are going into a Rite Aid. We're watching. There's a revolving door involved. We watch in complete awe as Patty and Mommy get stuck together in the door. Not for a second, but for like 30 seconds. Finally, someone in the store saved them. They get back in the car and Dad says, "What the heck? I'm cleaning it up. What the heck happened?" And they looked at each other really funny and they go, "What are you talking about?" So Dad throws me that, "Can you believe this look?" Like they don't even know. Mom always lived a bit vicariously through Patty. She enjoyed watching her success in high school softball and truly enjoyed Patty as we all watched her come out of her shell. Patty is a great mom as well, and that's something that my mom placed in importance above all else. By now we're on Ashland Avenue, and Mommy was living her dream. 5 children, a home in the suburbs, with a neighborhood that was made for kids. Picnics, parades, and parties. We have to talk about the Christmas parties. Mommy cooked an amazing Christmas dinner for Aunt Dot, Uncle Duke, Gran, and all of us. And within a couple hours, she had a layout that was unbelievable for a big Christmas party. Some of our favorites, her little sandwiches, her cheesecake cupcakes, her green layered Christmas tree cake. Of course, Mommy would be the first to tell you that without Dorothy, our Aunt Dot, none of that would be possible. Life went on and there were so many wonderful moments. She continued her close friendship with her siblings and cherished the outings with Aunt Cassie and Uncle Clyde and Aunt Patty and Uncle Ducky. They had so much fun together. We loved hearing about their shenanigans. And as adults, we'd often ask them if they needed bail money. And then becoming a grandmother, it was a highlight in her life. We are so happy that all of her grandchildren knew Mommy. It's true that they will have different memories and experiences based on when the dementia started. But every one of them did experience her playfulness. And I think every one of them know what I mean when I talk about that bag of buttons. They all felt her true love and happiness, and this will be forever priceless to them. For those of you at Dad's send-off, we shared how Mom had so many witty comebacks, and also some naive ones. She was funny and loving, a real joy to be around. Thank you all for being here to celebrate our mom. Special thanks to Karen Vivial Warrington, who gave so unselfishly by going to the nursing home almost every week to do Mom's hair. Mom loved to look good, and Karen who enabled a part of her that the disease could not steal. She was a real beauty until the end. So how would my mom want to be remembered? She was a woman of great faith. Up until the very end of her life, she said her prayers. And she even remembered the hard ones. She loved her family. As dementia took memories, she held on to the love. It did not matter who we were anymore. It mattered that she felt our love. She was so much fun. I could go on for hours, I won't, about her mischief. She dressed up for Halloween. She played along with all of Aunt Cassie's antics. So much fun in her heart. And she loved Jack until the end. So we'd like to do a couple things to celebrate Mom's life. Could you join me by saying the Hail Mary in her honor? This is her prayer. Hail Mary,
full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Next, I want to share the words of a song that Patty sang with Mommy every time she visited her. It was one of my mom's favorite songs as well. Mom sang along with such great love, and when she couldn't sing, you could see the love in her eyes. M is for the million things she gave us. O, only that she grew old and wiser. T is for her tears she shed to save us. H is for her heart of purest gold. E is for her eyes with love light shining. R means right, and right shall always be. And we put it all together, it spells
Mother,
the word that means the world
to
us.
Woo! Very good.
So if you could all raise your glass. We love you, Mom. We know you're back to your vibrant self, and we're quite sure that you have already enjoyed a few dances with Daddy. And so finally, good night, Mother of Five.
Woo! Yes. Awesome.
Thank you, everyone.
Very good. Woo! Very good. It's awesome.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Jacqueline, do you want to come up and...
Yeah. Awesome. You did.
my
It was
God.
awesome. Awesome.
I heard the whole thing.
Okay, hold on.